I found the secret to spend money the smart way. And since then, I never had any regrets about what I bought. I don't have this fear of missing out. And I also saved money in the process. Now, if you're anything like me, you do like to spend money on nice things. And if you could, you would have it all. I would too. The $1 million villa, that nice vacation, the Swiss watch, whatever. But unless you are a multimillionaire already, your resources are somewhat limited, right? Just like mine. So what I used to do, I would go out in the city shopping, see something, think, wow, that's beautiful, and buy it. I also remember I went to those stores, especially during summer and winter sales, and walk out of there with these full shopping bags. Not even that expensive altogether, but you know, it adds up. And not just that, I also ended up with a cluttered home and a cluttered wardrobe. And that didn't serve me very well. But then I found the spending hack that changed my life forever. If you want to hear more about that, keep watching. If we haven't met, I'm Sophia. I hate living frugal and I love to build wealth to have more to spend. And on this channel, we explore the tips and tricks how we can achieve both building wealth and enjoying life. If that sounds like your cup of tea, you're invited to subscribe. And now the secret to spending money smarter, not harder, lies within the 80-20 principle. In case you haven't heard of it before. The 80-20 principle, also known as the Pareto principle, states that 20% of our actions or effort lead to 80% of our results. For example, probably 20% of the foods you eat are responsible for 80% of your unwanted weight gain. And then I thought, that would also mean that 20% of the things we buy lead to 80% of the happiness with our purchases. And then I thought about, okay, how could I apply this to spending? And the first thing I did, I built categories. So what are the big spending categories in my life right now? And for me, that would be wardrobe, clothes, shoes, accessories, the car, then home. Of course, home is always a bigger spending category because of the rent and mortgage. But other than that, it's also furniture and home deco and stuff for the kitchen that we need and buy for the apartment. And then there would also be leisure time, so what you spend on entertainment or in cafes, bars, restaurants, stuff like that. For me, that wasn't such a big position in my spending categories, just to mention it here if it's for you. And then I went through them and I started with my car. So the car I had was old anyway. It started to cost a lot, like a lot in repairment. And I also walk every distance that I have to make on a daily basis, so I don't have to commute or something. And then for me, it was like, okay, if money was no object at all, then of course I would love the luxury of a car, you know, for that sense of freedom to get in there and get anywhere, anytime. But honestly, right now, it doesn't impact my life in a significant way if I have one or not. For you, it might be different. I just want you to walk through how I think about this. So I got rid of the car and it freed up a huge amount of money. Of that 80% of things that only led to 20% of the value I get from spending my money. And then the next would be home. I rent at the moment, so I don't own my own place. And for me personally, the experiences I have made in the past years, moving a gazillion times, for me it's not worth spending massive amounts of money on furniture that might not fit in the next apartment. Do you know what I mean? I remember in one of my apartments I had this sort of dead space between two doors and a wall that, you know, went in. And then I bought a wooden wardrobe that fitted that space perfectly. But then when I moved, in the next apartment, there wasn't a corner like this, and I still found a place in the new apartment. But you know, I think it's different when you live in your own home. Or also if you plan to stay in your apartment for a very long time, even if it's rented, then I would also, I guess, pay much more for customized furniture. But now when I move in an apartment and I know that I'm going to move out of there eventually, I just don't spend that much money anymore on furniture. What I do though is that when I need an item that is easily movable, then I buy that. And that, by the way, you could almost think of this as a second layer of the 80-20 principle, because I started out with the big categories: home, wardrobe, car, and so on. And now within the category home, I again look at the 20% of things, of home things, that lead to 80% of my happiness with those items. And for me at the moment, those are items that I know I can easily bring to the next apartment. And before I give you a concrete example, if you've enjoyed the video so far, I would love if you could drop a like. Thank you. And then when I buy, I do go for the best. That is one of my buying principles. I already made a video about that. And the example is I wanted to cook more. And to be able to make soup and stuff, I needed a mixer. And I got the Brown Multi-Quick 9, which apparently is their best model at the moment. And it also was at the top of some test results I read. And it also comes with a bunch of other accessories. So now I have the tools to cook more. And I intend to keep this as long as it works. And I can easily bring it to the next kitchen. And that also brings me to the next big category, which is wardrobe. And I guess at the moment, this is the main 20% of my spending for me. That brings me the most value because those are things that I wear daily. And they make me feel comfortable, they make me feel good, and they make me look good. And the way I think of the wardrobe, or at least I hope it's gonna turn out that way, is it does get saturated at some point. Because unless you are a collector of handbags or watches or shoes, if you have a certain set of shirts, button-downs, blazers, suits, shoes, whatever, there's probably going to be a point where you don't need any more. Because there's only so many days in the week and weeks in the month and months in the year where you can actually wear it. And I personally created a list. I love lists. I started with a capsule wardrobe and then I expanded from there. Just in case you haven't heard of it before, a capsule wardrobe is basic and timeless wardrobe pieces that get you through most occasions, and you can also combine them in the, best possible ways. Like for example, a white t-shirt, a blue jeans, a white button-down, sneakers and loafers. And those are also things, so not just the capsule wardrobe, but all the pieces in my wardrobe, clothes, accessories and stuff, are all pieces that I can move to the next apartment very easily. And that is also a way how I prioritize my spending. I don't even walk into furnishing stores because I know at the moment it doesn't make sense for me to buy anything. Now for you, the 20% may be something completely different. Maybe you have a passion for furniture, or you have an expensive hobby, or you really like to travel a lot. And if you're not sure what it is, one thing you could do is track your expenses. I'm still doing this after more than 10 years of financial journey. I use an Excel sheet for that I tweaked over the years, and it has all the different categories. Then you can see at a glance where you spend the most money, and then you can see if it aligns with what you actually want. Or maybe you have trouble prioritizing because it all seems so important. In this case, there is a powerful exercise. I did this first when it came to defining one's values and what are the most important ones. And how this works is you take a piece of paper, you write down the spending category, each on a separate piece of paper, and then you order it from first important, second important, third important, and so on. And because it's such a physical exercise, it really makes you think, okay, which one is it? Which one is actually more important to me? And then you can concentrate on just the first category and put the other ones on hold for some time. And then when it feels like it, you can switch to the next category. And that's exactly the way of how you're making sure that you always get the most out of your buck. And you spend your money only on things that are really meaningful for you. In fact, this video is a part of a series on how to 80-20 your money. So use the 80-20 principle when it comes to money management. And there are also videos about how to 80-20 planning and investing, and I'll link the playlist here. If you're still here, thank you for watching. I hope you got some value out of this, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.